Yeah, so basically, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not really a technical guy, but I'm approximately in the middle. When I prepared this presentation, I thought it could be interesting to just ask ourselves, actually, why should we care about license compliance? Can seem obvious, but I think, yeah, the question is really worth mentioning. And for me, the good answer is to respect the author's will. Because we are in free software, and I think the will of the author is really something that matters. I mean, license, it's not just an administrative text, it's really the reflect of what the author allows you and wants you to do in exchange of his code that is giving you for free. So for me, I mean, thinking about compliance this way, it's really not a detail. It's really, I mean, what we should try to have in mind. So, of course, there is a risk management side that matters. And I know that it can be useful to use it to trigger some or to unblock some situation, but really it should not come first. I think that whenever we think about license compliance, we should really think about what did the author ask me to do. So maybe the most interesting part in this talk is this link. Recently on the Linux kernel mailing list, there was a heated discussion about enforcing GPL license. And so, well, it was heated because Linus Torvalds took part in it. And in the end, he admitted that he had a little bit overreacted and that they finally both agreed. But basically what they agreed on is that a legal action should really be the last resort. I mean, when everything's failed, you can go and see the lawyers. And what they were saying also is that compliance issue, it's not a thing of lawyers. It should be also a thing of developers. And they didn't want to have a meeting with lawyers. They said, okay, we will only have kernel developers at this meeting, and that was very important for them. So I think it's also very important to remember that. I mean, legal compliance is not a thing for lawyers, but for developers and users. Also, what I have noticed that along the years, in legal compliance, focus has changed. At the beginning, people were very focused on detecting open source because they didn't want to have open source in their code. And now, I mean, everybody has some. And so the main goal is to know how to manage it. If we go back to the schemas that were presented earlier, you know, the first stage is third-party components, and then you care about code snippets. Code snippets has always been a great focus, I mean, at the beginning, but now people realize that the most important thing, it's more properly handling third-party components. So we have this gradual focus, even if we have case like that. I don't know if it's obvious for everyone. That's the range check function that caused so much debate between Oracle and Google. So it's trivial code. I mean, it's as stupid as you can imagine it. And it's 9 lines, well, 8 if you don't count the closing brackets. And it adds a huge impact. So yes, I mean, cases like this exist, but that they're really, really the exception. So we shouldn't be too obsessed by those cases because, I mean, they're really masking the reality, which is also linked to the technical reality. It's package management. That now, in most languages, you manage your dependencies automatically. I mean, if you code in Java, you will use Maven. If you code in Rust, you will use Cargo, etc., etc. And in all the dependency management system, you have metadata about dependencies, but also about licenses. So it's very easy to get all the licenses of a whole project by a simple recursion. And we have already a lot of tools that actually do that. And one advantage of this approach is that it's also something at a developer levels. I mean, it's the same tools that you developer use. You don't need an extra tool which is specialized in legal stuff. The problem is that we have room for improvement, and it's not that much at the tool level, but at the quality of the data. I run a quick test, and so I didn't get exactly what I want, but you can see the problem that for the first component, you have no data. So that's just the first thing you should remember also, is that when you package your stuff, please, mention the license that you use. It doesn't take much time, it helps a lot. The other problem is that you can see that you have the MIT license and the MIT license, which is actually the same thing. If you go to the list before, you see we have two licenses. We have EPL 1.0 and LGPL 3. But does that mean that I have to respect both, or can I respect one of them only? And the third illustration is a script that in Jenkins they wrote to fix this kind of problem. So our problem is that we would need a standard for license name and license identifiers, and the good news is that we have one. So that's what was mentioned earlier. So SPDX, everybody knows SPDX already? Okay, so please use it. And that's it.